Hey, and welcome back. Today we'll be looking at Firebase, Crashlytics, and App Insights. Yes, in the previous videos we already had error handling set up, but our app isn't going to be used from Android Studio by our users. So if errors happen, we need to see them somewhere as they happen and come up with ways on dealing them, based on how severe the issues are. And this is what Crashlytics will help us with. We will start with going through the documentation. The setup is fairly simple, and we'll see how to do that in just a sec. Another thing to mention is App Quality Insights, which gives us, our Crashlytics and Firebase information which we'd normally access from Firebase or the Firebase Crashlytics Dashboard. Right in Android Studio, we don't need to leave Android Studio to see this. In the newest Android Studio version, we can also see if our app was deployed on Play Store. We have access to our app vitals, which just tells us how our app is doing on different performance levels. And let's get going. So to start off, here we have the App Quality Insight panel. It has the vitals and Crashlytics currently not set up, and that's what we'll be doing. By the end of the video, we should be able to see some insights on Crashlytics over here. So next up, let's set up our Firebase project. So we head on to Firebase console and click on Add Project. Let's call the project Weather App. Let's enable Google Analytics. That might be helpful later on. Create project, and creating your project, please wait. And we have a Firebase project created. Now we need to connect our app to the project, and there's a bunch of things that we can do with Firebase, but our focus or concern for now is Crashlytics, which is under the Release and Monitor tab. And let's connect our Android app. I'll go and get the package name. Then put in a name for it. Register the app. And we don't need the SHA-1 for signing yet. That's for other Firebase features. Then we'll download this Google Services JSON and we'll put it in the app folder, because that's where the core bit of the app is. So I'll get this and dump it in here. Cool. Next I'll set up the Firebase SDK. So this includes just adding the Google Services Gradle plugin and I'll go ahead and add this. So if you've watched our previous videos, you know we use version catalogs. I went ahead and already converted it to something that will just be plugged into the catalog file. I'll just paste it here. Again, if you're curious about catalogs, check out my previous video. Then add the class path. Cool. Also here, I just use the ID with the string name as is. Using the alias won't really work as expected. Yeah, that's more so with the dependencies coming from the class path. Okay, next I'll add the Firebase bill of materials, also the BOM, and the Firebase dependencies. I think we'll need analytics and Crashlytics for this. I'll then also add the Firebase dependencies, converted them for version catalog. We just paste them over here. I'll then create like a Firebase bundle that I just add all the Firebase dependencies at once. I'll also include the Crashlytics plugin. I'll then go ahead and add an implementation of the libraries, and that should be all. And with that setup done, we are good to go. All you have to do is run your app, and when a crash happens, Crashlytics will pick it up. You can also customize the error events that you want to send. For example, if you have API issues or some third-party SDK exceptions that are being thrown, and you don't necessarily want to just crash the app, you could pass them on to something like Crashlytics, and they'll be logged on the dashboard as non-fatal errors. And I'll make use of the record exception function. So whenever I have like a try catch, I will log the exceptions as non-fatal, because we already handle the errors and the exceptions. So when an error, so I tried running the app and an error occurred. Let's see what happens. So if the app crashes, you can see this shows up, the version of the app, the number of times it happened, the events. You can see the start trace. You can filter by the period in which the error most was happening. Also, when you go to the app quality insights panel, it says currently logged in user has no permission. So this, you also need to be logged in with the right account. Okay, so I think I will log in with the correct user so that we can see what the app quality insight panel will show us for Firebase Crashlytics. For Android Vitals, yeah, keep watching. You'll maybe see that when we deploy the app to Play Store. So let me sign in with the right account, or that you have to sign in with the account that is linked to your Firebase. When we refresh, cool. So we can see the info about the crashes, which devices are affected, what Android versions, and filter by time. Then we can view it from Firebase. You can filter the different bug issue states, what Android system. I mean, look, last 7 days, 6 days, I think it doesn't have the last 60 minutes. Yes, on the Android Studio, it doesn't refresh as fast as Firebase. And clicking on the blue links will take you to where the issues are happening. Or you'll be able to see on like a getter icon showing like this is where the issue is coming from. So it's really helped in productivity. So here we had a catch block. Looks like the best place to use the Crashlytics exception logging. So I'll go ahead and just add this over here. And whenever like something occurs here, we just send it to Crashlytics. The ones that are passed through the record exception will be marked as non-fatal. Yeah, so like there are things which we can fix. But yeah, I think I cleaned it up a bit, created a wrapper for sending in the loggings in case we ever want to use different SDKs to log our exceptions and errors and etc. Which is always the case in real production apps. We might probably be working with more than one event handling SDK. And that will be all for this video. I hope you found it helpful. If you have any questions or comments, just leave them in the comment section below. And I'll be seeing you in the next video. Ciao and happy coding.